Hey everyone, this is Joe and Jacob, and today we are hiking the Pin-Chin Skyway Loop Trail in the Cheaha National Forest near Talladega, Alabama. The Pin-Chin Sky Loop Trail in the Talladega National Forest in east central Alabama is about a 20-mile popular loop trail that connects together the Pinhoti Trail, the Chinabee Silent Trail, and the Skyway Trail. Jacob and I did this hike as a leisurely 2-night, 3-day backpacking trip, with the first night spent on top of the mountain on the Pinhoti Trail and the second night on the Skyway Trail beside a nice stream. The hike begins at the Adams Gap trailhead and proceeds through the forest with small ups and downs and twists and turns until you come to the Stairway to Heaven, which is a steep climb up to the top of the mountain. The views at the top are worth it though. We spent our first night at a lovely campsite with a view. The next morning, we got off of the Pinhoti Trail and got onto the Chinabee Silent Trail, which descended down into the valley off the mountain. We hiked across the valley, which is mostly flat, until we came to Cheaha Falls. Cheaha Falls is a beautiful sight. We then continued on down the stream valley, crossing down until we came to the Devil's Den. The Devil's Den was a great place to cool off. After the Devil's Den, we got onto the Skyway Trail, and we hiked up the Skyway Trail, steadily climbing until we reached our campsite at Hubbard Creek. The Hubbard Creek campsite was a lovely place to cool down and recover from a long hot day. The next morning, we crossed the Hubbard Creek and we continued up the Skyway Trail, gradually climbing up along ridges with some nice views out into the countryside. We finally had a steep climb back up the mountain until we got to Adams Gap, where we started. As a whole, this is a pretty fun and easy hike that has some gorgeous views from on top of the mountain and some lovely waterfalls to cool off on along the way. The trailhead for the Pinhoti Trail, which is the first part of our loop, starts right across the parking lot from where you park over there. Across the road and heading up the trail. So we're going to follow the Pinhoti Trail for about 6 miles before, and that's where we're planning to spend the night tonight. And then tomorrow we will head down the Chinabee Silent Trail and loop around on the Skyway Trail, which heads back this direction towards our parking lot. We'll probably spend tomorrow night somewhere along the Skyway Trail. Here the sign says Pinhoti Trail. Odom Trail in 5 miles, Cheaha State Park in 10 miles. Hiking trail only, no bikes, no horses. Entering the Cheaha Wilderness of the Talladega National Forest. Look at this beautiful flower. Whew, it's so bright in the sunshine. This segment of the trail has lots of little ups and downs, but at least it's not too hot today. There's a nice breeze, sunny weather. It's beautiful. Okay, we've come in about 3.5 miles, maybe a little more. The sign here says Pinhoti Trail to the right. So it takes a sharp turn up to the right and goes up what's called the Stairway to Heaven. So that's next. Notice the little symbol of the Pinhoti is a turkey footprint. And that's because Pinhoti means turkey in the Native American languages of the area. All right, it's time to go up the Stairway to Heaven. It's gonna get steep in a hurry. When you reach the double blaze on a tree and some sticks across the trail, this is where you turn left, make a sharp left, and head up this way. And up there, you probably can't see it in the trees, there's a little wooden sign. But you don't want to keep going straight here. You want to turn hard left. Follow the blue blazes. See it on the post back there? Crossing through a boulder field now. You gotta pick your way through the rocks and generally follow the blazes. We just passed a tricky spot. There are multiple paths through these boulders, some of which are all blazed, but right here is a tree that has a double blaze. That means the trail takes a sharp turn, and sure enough, it goes off this way now. Obviously people have tried to pick their way through the rest of these rocks, but wow, what a boulder field. We're heading up there. I think we're getting close now. They aren't kidding when they call this a stairway to heaven. I just hope it's got heaven at the other end, because it's sure a stairway. Starting to see a view out there. Feel like you can see all the way across to Alabama. We have reached the pearly gates. I think we are going to go take a look at the... Well, here we are at the top of the stairway to heaven. You can see the view behind me there. Pretty amazing. This is amazing. You feel like you conquered the world up here after climbing up all those stairs. So among the mountains you can see in the distance over there, this one right in the center, if I can get my finger in the screen, there it is. That one right there is Mount Cheaha, which is the tallest mountain in Alabama. I think it's at 2,700 feet or so. Ah, views that just don't quit. We have made it to where we're camping tonight, and this is the view from about, I don't know, 20 or 30 feet from our campsite. Spectacular. We have just arrived at our campsite for the night. This is a pretty nice spot. Good level spaces for several tents. We only have one, Jacob and I are sharing, so that's not a problem. Nice fire ring. Some places to sit. Big rocks there. And then right up over there is a spectacular viewpoint. Good morning. Day 2 of our Pin-Chin Skyway Loop Trail hike. You see our tent back there. We camped at a beautiful campsite last night. Sun's coming up this morning. I don't know if you can see off in the distance there. There we go. Yeah, it's a beautiful morning this morning. Some fog rolled in this morning while we were packing up camp and eating breakfast. So it's not as sunny as it was, but we are about to head down the trail. Here we are at the Little Caney Creek campsite. It's a huge campsite. And this is the crossroads. The sign says Pinhoti Trail to Adams Gap. That's where we just came from. On this side, it says Chinipee Silent Trail. That's where we're going today. On this side, it says Pinhoti Trail to Cheaha State Park. That way. And finally, Odom Scout Trail. That way. Well, we're going to go the opposite direction of that. We're going to take the Chinipee Silent Trail that way. A small snake. Right there. He's got a little yellow band behind his head. We have reached the bottom of the mountain finally, down the Chinipee Silent Trail. The Pinhoti Trail, 2 miles back. A heck of a climb up to the top of the mountain. The sun has come back out. That's welcome, although it's now warming up, of course. And I think we're about to have a creek crossing here. Yep. Very nice. Whoops. That didn't work well. We are leaving the Cheaha Wilderness. We have reached the Turnip Seed campground. A hunter's camp, they call it. You can drive in here and primitive camp. It's a $5 fee, I think, to camp here. But we use this as an opportunity to dump some of our trash in the bear-proof trash cans. So that was good, and get rid of a little weight. All right, next up is Cheaha Falls, then Devil's Den, and then the Skyway Trail in 3.7 miles. We have reached Highway 281. So now we got to brave the busy traffic and cross the highway right across there. Here we are at Cheaha Falls. We're gonna stop and take a break here and play in the water, because why work so hard without some fun? Shower time! We cross just above the Cheaha Falls and continue on the other side. Well, up there was the mountain we stayed at last night. So that's how far we've come. There's the Devil's Den in the distance. That was sure a nice, cool spot. Now we're up on a walkway on the ridge here, Continuing on. All right, we make a sharp left-hand turn onto the Skyway Trail, headed for Adams Gap. This is just past Devil's Den, maybe, I don't know, a half mile, not very far. So on we go. So the Skyway Trail immediately presents a challenge in that you have to ford this creek. And right here is the official ford where you're supposed to cross. We didn't feel like taking our shoes off, so we went upstream a little ways. And we found a place where we could hop through the rocks, and we made it across. It's our campsite. After a long, hot, steady uphill slog. So now we're cooling off in the creek. Here's our campsite this evening. We need to get the fire going. We got a big fire going now. Good morning. This is day 3 of our trip on the Pin Chin Skyway Trail. We are getting camp all picked up here. We got our bags packed and picking up little bits of trash and stuff around. This is our campsite here beside the Hubbard Creek. You can see it flowing there in the background. All right, we have about 4 miles to go to get back to Adams Gap where this all started. So we're gonna take off before it gets too hot this morning. The first step this morning is to cross the creek without getting too wet. The actual ford to the creek is down there, but this looks like it's more passable to us. So we're gonna try going across here. Jacob already made it. There you can see the very tippy top of Mount Cheaha in the distance. We're hiking along the ridge here, steadily gaining altitude. As we've climbed up higher, the views have opened up. You can see the mountain we camped on the first night up there. And I think Adams Gap is one of those valleys between those peaks over there. We're in a nice open pine forest here, so you can see nicely. It's not as crowded as much of the forest in Alabama. Good thing the sun's not too hot yet. Here we're crossing a road, with the trail continuing on the other side. All right, here we're crossing our second road. And I think this is our last little uphill. Now we go down into a valley, and then it's one big uphill back up to Adams Gap. We are taking a break to refill our water here by a nice little stream running through a campsite. Beautiful little campsite here. I think it's all uphill from here. All right, time to cross the stream and head on up the trail. Yay! We have reached the Pinhoti Trail again. Finally. That was a good slog up the mountain there. This is where the Skyway Trail ends. It says Lake Chinnipe was in 6 miles. I think it was further than that. We'll check that later. There's a little sign here for the Pinhoti Trail. And I think it's less than a 1/10 of a mile back to the car now. We're ready. It's starting to heat up, getting near noon today. We're still here. Woo! Made it. That's good. Well, that was a good trip though overall.